The best of them all, this is my favorite cultural figure taking the side of Iran over Trump, is a rapper named T.I., who is siding with the Ayatollah Khamenei in calls for death to America. I didn't know who T.I. was, so I Googled him. We'll get to that in a second. Here is what T.I. tweeted out. Yup, ... exactly what he said. And by he, he's referring to Ayatollah Khamenei, who's calling for death to America. Ain't no Iranian never called me no N-word, infested our communities with dope, and then locked us up for it, allowed the police to pull us over and gun us down with no accountability, or enslaved us and tried to act like duh, SHIT ain't happen. So, as I pray for our soldiers, I'm also gonna be praying for theirs. This ain't our war, champ. Hashtag don't start SHIT, won't be SHIT. Hashtag MAGA hats oughta go first. He misspelled oughta. He misspelled a lot of things. MAGA hats oughta go first. What does that mean, oughta go first? Does it mean oughta go be sent into war, or oughta go be wiped out in war first? He then tweets out afterward, or Instagrams out afterward, riddle me this. How come America can go to other countries and wipe out evil people, but can't get rid of the KKK right here? Wow, really profound stuff, T.I. First of all, the United States did get rid of the KKK. We decimated that organization decades ago, that democratic organization, I'll point out. We did. Now, the reason that we can't ban them from speaking, the reason that the ACLU came to their defense is because we have freedom of speech, the same freedom of speech that allows T.I. to spout his traitorous, idiotic propaganda. Look, if I were king, T.I. wouldn't be saying this kind of stuff, but I am not king. This is what Antonin Scalia said about the First Amendment. He said, if I were king, I would throw in jail every scruffy, bearded, sandal-wearing creep who burns the American flag, but I am not the king. So that's the reason we have free speech in this country. But he is actively taking the side of Iran over the United States. He's saying, yup, exactly what he said about the Shah, if only it were the Shah, about the Ayatollah Khamenei. I didn't know who T.I. was, so I looked him up on Wikipedia. This is from Wikipedia, just for those of you who don't know who T.I. is either. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., known professionally as T.I. and Tip, is an American rapper, actor, songwriter, producer, entrepreneur, record executive, and author. He must be busy. In 2001, Harris formed the Southern hip-hop group P$C, alongside his longtime friends and fellow Atlanta rappers Big Country King, Mac Boney, and C-Rod. Harris is also known as one of the artists who popularized the hip-hop subgenre trap music, along with Jeezy and Gucci Mane. I hope that clears it up. I'm sure it's much clearer for you now. Then I read further down his Wikipedia, and it turns out that T.I. is a complete criminal degenerate. T.I. was arrested several times by the age 14 for dealing drugs. He was sent to prison on various drug, assault, and weapons charges. In 2007, he was arrested for possession of 3 unregistered machine guns and 2 silencers, and possession of firearms by a convicted felon. Arrested lots more over the years, then arrested last year for disorderly conduct and simple assault. And this is the guy now siding with the Ayatollah of Iran. What's very interesting about the first thing that he posted in his agreement with Khamenei is he blames everybody else for things that he did, right? So he's blaming other people. I don't know who, them, white people, Americans, I don't know. He's blaming others as he's got this sort of racially loaded post for infesting our communities with dope. Nobody infested your communities with dope, whatever your communities are. You dealt drugs for your entire life, basically, and you got arrested for it. And you take no accountability for it. You take no responsibility. Everybody else, it's their problem. Somebody else made you have all those illegal machine guns. It wasn't you. You're a poor, oppressed victim, T.I. Somebody, I don't know, you were just holding those machine guns for a friend. And those silencers, and you were just dealing those drugs for a friend. It's a huge misunderstanding, a huge mistake. Aren't you a victim? You and the Ayatollah of Iran, you're both just such victims of America. Give me a break. He says that the people who are doing this have no accountability. You have no accountability. You take no accountability at all. This guy, T.I., is such a degenerate. He posted a video last year of a music video that he was going to release in which he very graphically has sex with Melania Trump in the first office. This was so edgy that they actually wouldn't let him release it. It never came out. That is T.I. That is the kind of person who is siding with the Ayatollah of Iran over Trump. All of which brings us to a very important political reality. You are known by the friends you keep. Hey, Michael Knowles here, and the fact is, a life of cigars and scotch is not cheap. So please be sure to subscribe to the Daily Wire on YouTube, because I depend heavily on your support to continue enjoying this wonderful lib-triggering life.